Roschon, what do you feel best about coming out of the off week?
I feel best about our spirit going forward. I think that bye week was much needed, just to kind of reset and regather ourselves as a team. And you kind of feel it today and yesterday during practice. Uh, Everybody's spirit was high. Nobody was really sulking or complaining, having that type of spirit. So I feel like we got a good mindset going forward.
Kirk, go ahead.
Yeah, Roschon, what impresses you about Baylor, and anybody in particular stands out on their defense?
Yeah, they have a veteran unit. They're really sound fundamentally. They fit their gaps. They have a couple of players, number 62, the down lineman, and a couple of their backers are experienced. All of their backers are experienced. So they're a sound unit. So they don't really make a whole lot of mistakes, but we just got to take advantage of the mistakes that they do make. So.
Cole, go ahead.
Roschon, what have you seen from the offensive line in their progression from the Oklahoma State game to practice last week to this past week?
I would say, honestly, it's just a matter of just the communication has picked up a little bit more. I would say the focus to finishing. But I feel like that's kind of for the offense as a whole, not just the O-line. Communicating on a pretty high, communicating highly effectively. So, I mean, I'd say that's just us as offense as a whole, not just the O-line, honestly.
Terry, you're up.
Roschon, good afternoon. Thanks for being with us. So as a former quarterback, do you find that you see the game differently as it slowed down for you? And are you a better player because of your quarterback skills? And also, are there any plays in the playbook that have you throwing the football?
I would definitely say that playing quarterback has changed my perspective. As opposed to if I didn't play it, I see the field a lot. I feel like I see it a lot differently. I can recognize coverages and tip-off blitzes faster than probably a normal back could. So I would say that has impacted my play and just how I see things. And as far as plays with me throwing the ball, I'll just wait and let y'all find that out. So,
Danny, you're up.
Roschon, you don't seem like a guy who's going to demand more touches, but I'm kind of wondering how have you found different ways to contribute that isn't, carrying the ball 10, 15 times a game?
I mean, like you said, I'm not gonna relate to my coaches or higher powers that I need more touches. I'm here to contribute. So, however that comes, whether it was on special teams or running the ball, blocking, any way, shape, or form. I'm not gonna put my coaches in that type of stressful position to make a decision like that. So I think it's just a matter of me putting my head down and grinding, and then what's in the dark will come to light. I know the work that I put in will show somewhere in some form. So,
Joe, go ahead.
What is a guy like Siaki Ika, number 62? What challenges does he present being that big of a dude and being at nose? And does going against guys like Tavondre and Keandre kind of help you get ready for someone who just is that big?
Yeah. I feel like we go against guys that big in practice every day. So the challenge is just seeing how you can take advantage of that at the same time. That's pretty much offense. You want to take advantage of the defense's weaknesses, and he's a great player. He's a big body that can move people and still made a lot of blocks. So we just got to do a good job game planning around him.
Cedric, you're up.
Hey, Roschon. After these last couple of losses, how have you guys challenged each other during the bye week and these last couple of practices leading up to Baylor?
I would say we've challenged each other mainly just by focusing on what we can control, learning from those losses and how those losses played out and how exactly we got to the positions we got to, and just nipping that at the bud in practice. So a big focus on finishing and not paying attention to the scoreboard, not getting too comfortable, too high or too low. So I think that's been the main point of emphasis, because we know, as everybody has seen, that we're more than capable of putting up dominant performances It's just a matter of consistency throughout the whole game.
John High, go ahead.
Oh, Roschon, kind of going off that, after the Oklahoma game, some guys were saying that the issues were fixed and you guys are focused on finishing. Things we're kind of hearing now. What's different now?
Now I feel like it's just a new mindset with those things happening, with those losses happening. It's just a matter of looking forward to, okay, we see the mistakes that we made and we see at what point in the game we start to make these mistakes. We picked up on our tendencies that cause us to make those mistakes. So it's a matter of, okay, not going forward, what do we have to do against Baylor to win? So it's just taking it really one day at a time, not necessarily changing who we are, but critiquing who we are in order for us to win.
A few more for Roschon. Chip, you're up.
Roschon, Sark said yesterday that, later in games, after a couple tough series, he might, go with plays that he knows you all have done well as opposed to more elaborate plays. But he said, looking back, y'all have handled the elaborate plays. Can you just comment on that and, what your thoughts are?
Yeah, like he said, we've handled the elaborate plays. I feel like we've handled that pretty good. So it's just a matter of us executing. I mean, you can easily look back at both Oklahoma State and the Oklahoma games and just look at two plays that were big momentum swings. And we had to just executed this assignment right. Like, it could have been a first down or it could have been a touchdown. Like, it's something so simple that a lot of people wouldn't see, but you go back on film and watch it and it's like, that's something that we do every day. We just did not execute in that moment, in that point in time. So,
Two last ones. Jeff, you're up.
You mentioned practice right there, and you told us a moment ago that there's a new emphasis on finishing in practice. What does that look like? What's changed in practice? Is the second half different than the first, or what's changed?
Honestly, I've always felt that we've always put an emphasis on finishing in practice, but I feel like it's a more mental challenge, a more mental approach to, okay, even if you're not taking a physical rep, like, watch and see exactly what you're doing and pay attention when you're not in. So I feel like it's more so not just physical, because we compete good on good, ones versus ones at the end of practice as well. So it's just a matter of, physically getting those reps against ones versus ones, good on good, and then mentally challenging yourself to focus when you're not in.
Last one, Cole, you're up.
Roschon, you kind of talked about consistency and, finishing plays in practice. Do you kind of view the last 5 games of the season as a clean slate 0-0 record, or more so take it as a 1 week at a time process?
Yeah, sort of both. I'm going to approach it as 1 week at a time. With these last 5 games approaching, it's a Big 12, so you never know what can happen. So I feel like the best thing we can do is put our best foot forward and prepare for each and every single week, but that starts with every day. So as a player, I got to focus on each day and what I can do and critique myself at practice so I can go out and put my best foot forward on game days. But ultimately, us as a team, all we can do is, take it week by week.
Chip, go ahead.
Yeah, Josh, just what do you feel best about coming out of the off week?
Just the chemistry that our team has built. Definitely, I've been trying to stay together through everything. Definitely trying to be the leader that I can be to make sure that the team is coming closer, working on everything that we need to do and executing. The big thing from bye week is we didn't want to take any days off. We wanted to compete like we had a game Saturday and go from there.
Danny, go ahead.
Josh, when we asked you after the OK State game, you said you're not a guy who loves bye weeks, that you'd rather, get back on the field right away. But how ready are you to get back out there and actually kind of get a chance to show that you guys have kind of gotten over, fixed what was wrong?
I'm extremely ready. Just the energy that's been in the locker room throughout the facility and everything else. Guys are competing, we're going hard in practice, and you don't see any drop off really. You only see upgrades and everything that we're doing, and I'm just loving the atmosphere right now and everything that my teammates giving.
Chip, you're up.
Josh, what did Jalen Ford show you in the Oklahoma State game?
He just showed me that he's been practicing. He practiced well all the time. He comes out, gives all his effort in practice, so you know it's going to show in a game. Like something that they preach around here is practice execution becomes game reality. That's something that we live off by, and definitely Jalen Ford has showed that what he does in practice translates in the game.
Cole, you're up.
Sorry about that. Josh, Roschon was kind of talking about earlier how the entire offense is holding each other accountable. What has been the biggest difference you've noticed in the bye week and then the last week of practice from not just the offensive line, but also from the receiving core as a whole?
Leaders are stepping up. You can definitely see that. Guys like Rowe, Derek Kerstetter, Casey, everyone's stepping up, and you can see it. And in the receiving core, you got X who's being vocal, which is a good thing. He's only a freshman, and he's out there leading and everything. Marcus Washington, those guys are definitely showing their part, and you can just see like the veterans and everything, like Cade Brewer and everyone on the offense doing their thing. And it's exciting to see because, I mean, it's something that we needed. And with the leaders showing that they can do it, and everybody else will follow.
Cedric, go ahead.
Hey, Josh. Snacks told us yesterday that the coaches are pushing you guys even harder in the second half of practice. How do you think that's going to help you guys finish better after you've let some leads get away in these last couple of games?
We usually have a halftime in the middle of practice where we go. But now, like before we go back out on the field, we only get like a 2-minute break. But before we go out, everybody gets everybody up and like, let's go, let's finish. Fourth quarter, we definitely use that what they're doing. It's not only the coaches doing that, but like I said, the leaders are starting to say that. The leaders are starting to get up, move around, and going out in that second half of practice and finishing and executing, which is great to see because everyone else is starting to look at us and like, okay, yeah, let's go. And that's just exciting.
Brian, go ahead.
Hey, Josh, this year it seems kind of similar to 2018. You guys had back-to-back conference losses and then still rallied to get where you wanted to go. What happened that year, and can you draw any parallels from that season to this one?
If I can remember, definitely the team stayed close to each other. Like I said, like we're basically what we're doing now, and we're just trying to do as best as we can in the practice field and everything, not letting or buying into everything, the hype that everyone's bringing us or this and that, but we're just trying to stay level-headed and going out in practice and still executing. That 2018 team, we went through a lot, but everything else it's about, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm definitely loving this year's vibe. And our focus right now is the Baylor game, and we're going to go step by step and one game by another game. That'll be it.
John High, go ahead.
Josh, earlier you said you like the energy in the locker room. Guys are going harder and competing in practice. Was that not there after the OU loss?
Repeat that one more time.
You said you like the energy in the locker room, that guys are going harder in practice now and competing. Was that not there after the OU loss?
It was, but the main thing is the leadership. The leaders came together and we all just decided that we have to be vocal. We have to take that step. And you don't want to be every guy. You're going to be every guy's friend. You're going to be their teammate. But for them to trust you, you have to get on to them. You have to get on your teammates. And that's just being a leader. You don't want to, you're going to have friends, but you have to be able to get on them and show them that what they can fix.
Danny, go ahead.
Hey, Josh, you see these guys in practice all the time. So I'm kind of wondering, what do you think of the receiver depth behind Xavier and Josh?
Your mic went out.
What do you think of the receiver depth behind Joshua and Xavier, what those guys can do from what they've shown you in practice?
Everyone's executing. Those guys, they give fanatical effort every time that they get on the line of scrimmage. Like I said, it starts with the ones, and if the ones are going hard, the twos are going hard. If the twos are going hard, then the threes are going hard. And it's just a level that everyone is taking, and I really like that.
Good time for a few last ones. Terry, start us off.
Josh, thanks for talking with us. So you're in the middle of the season. The bar keeps getting raised. It's the toughest part of, I imagine football and practice. It's getting gritty. But for you, what is your favorite? What is the funnest part about being a football player at the University of Texas in this time?
The funnest part is, finishing up with my teammates, regardless of the outcome. Like I said, we're going to go out and be the best that we can be every snap. One thing that I love practice. I try to bring the energy in practice as much as I can. My main goal for the last, I want to say 3 years that I've been here ever since my injury was to fall in love with practice, and that'll help me play better on Saturdays. And that's just the main thing that I've been doing is trying to fall in love with practice, which I have fell in love with practice, and maybe everyone would see that and follow.
Last one, Chip, go ahead.
Josh, Baylor amazingly went from averaging 2 yards a carry last year to now leading the Big 12 in rush offense. What needs to happen for Texas to tighten things up against the run?
Trusting the cause that Coach PK gives us. We just have to go out and execute everything that they give us. He puts us in the right spots. We know that we can play physical. It's now to the mental side of football and finishing and competing.